Here, Hank Aaron got an offer. He couldn't refuse. The return of home run ball number 700 for only 700 silver dollars. An 18-year-old gave it back to the Hammer, who then finished last season with 713 career home runs, just one shy of the Babe. Number 715 was just a matter of time, but there was much more to the matter for Aaron. John Miller has tonight's cover story.
As the long, slow siege neared its end in early April of 1974, Henry Aaron stood uncomfortably in the crosshairs of national attention.
When I was a kid, watching him get close and just hearing about all the things that he had to go through, because they had the people, the ignorant people out here who didn't want him to break Babe Ruth's record because he was a black man. And I think today, Henry Aaron still lives in fear.
I remember I was on a deck circle and Hank said, man, I'm going to get this over with right away. I'm tired of this. He said, I'm going to get this over with.
Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15.
I'd just like to thank all the fans here this evening. And I just thank God it's all over with.
It was something that I've tried to forget about because there was no good times there at all. I never thought that I was going to catch as much hell as I did.
A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol.
His reaction after he did break it was to go home. There was a party at his house. He went down to the room all by himself, got down on his knee and cried.
The daily abuse began last season when Aaron's 40 homers left him one shy of Ruth's record. Race-based letters and crank calls persisted through the winter into the spring, stealing from him the joy of his quest and replacing it with a faceless, nameless terror that intensified the closer he got.
He clearly had enormous pressure on him. He was getting hate mail. He was sometimes sleeping in at the ballpark to sort of get over the strain of the rest of the day.
Somehow this mail slid out from under the seat. I think I tried to hide it from him. He looked, he said, what's this? I said, nothing, don't worry about it. He read a few lines or maybe a couple of letters, and he said, you know, okay, take care.
We got all kind of threats on my kids and myself, but we just had to go on and forget about it.
There were people who felt somehow that this would take something away from whatever it was that they worshipped in baseball, and therefore tried to create unnecessary problems of fear for our family.
What this man had to go through to set a baseball record, I mean, if you think about it, it's almost bizarre. He knows somewhere in the back of his mind there might be somebody out there with a rifle pointing it at him.
My great fear, though, was when I saw the two young men run out on the field. Now, that was scary.
My father, who was from Georgia, I bet he flinched or sort of gritted his teeth and worried about Hank Aaron's safety when those two guys ran out there.
Aaron's misfortune is that he eclipsed the gaudiest record of baseball's largest hero. Aaron's quiet, conservative manner would keep him from reaching Ruthian heights. And though he hit more homers than the Babe, he needed almost 2,900 additional at-bats to get there.
Babe Ruth was just the symbol of the home run. Hank Aaron never hit 50 and occasionally 40, but never had the great home run year.
Hank Aaron was never a sort of larger-than-life personality. And when people compare the personality of Babe Ruth to the personality of Hank Aaron, there's no comparison as to which one is the more intriguing, ever-living figure in American culture.
Hank Aaron hit more home runs than Babe Ruth, drove in more runs than Lou Gehrig, scored more runs than Willie Mays, and had over 12 more miles in total bases than the runner-up, Stan Musial.
Lifetime records are rarely as honored as single-season or single-game records, because the excitement of having built up to that is offset by the amount of time it's taken. Hank Aaron didn't do things with a flair. He simply did them.
He didn't come around the base shouting, I'm #1 or anything of that sort. He was Henry Aaron all the way down the pike.